weekly program to which is the Gambia Matters on Kuanku TV that we normally have on Wednesdays. And today with me here we have Mr. Omar Sane, a second-year political science student from University of the Gambia, and with Honorable Abuka Sise, the youth parliamentarian of Josuan constituency, and with me, with your host Omar Suare. Our today's discussion, I term it as one of the best discussions one will ever have on this table here, because today we gather here to discuss on very important topic, which is very vital to all of us, because anything linked to our youths, we see it as one of the best topics we can ever discuss, because we are not only the leaders of tomorrow, but we are the leaders of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So kamobe konton keten to KJ, many along call even no makang na weekly program or troika me the Gambia Matters, me along ko kasura yamul tumu kuanku TV. Men ben fe yambiole mo Mr. Sane and Honorable Sise, aning Allah host menketa Omar Suarez. Na bito piko beden ni men na wole mu youth unemployment and security risk in the Gambia. Nitare ajube ikatara ka fo neko motang kono funding kundato Gambia ikatara in every 10 ikatara one or more than one is seeking for job and couldn't find it. Ikatara ikafo half of the youth population, many alonko, some are not going to school, some are not employed, some are not given the proper training that they want. Me alonko is a keno fendi soma. But then build na program kono me my kodila na sole ya fanyitlum jumaldi, and to start with Mr. Sane.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon to you as well. My name is Omar Sane, a second-year political science major at the University of the Gambia, and I'm delighted to be part of this program today at Kuanku TV. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You are welcome.
Yes.
Honorable Sise.
Thank you. Yes, Assalamu alaikum, viewers. I am Abu Bakr Sise, the National Youth Parliamentarian for Josuan constituency, and it's another delightful day to be here. And as usual, we were going to have, an interesting conversation today. Yes, thank you.
Good. Konga kumasa nyame Mr. Sane and Honorable Sise. Ikata de ka fonne ko ani na 2025 la survey jube. Most of the surveys nga men jube ka fonne ko in every 10 ikata le ko more than one ube fullerin do ko el funding ke kunati mon do ko soto. Ka kana fonne fanan ko ikata la half of the youth population many along ko dimantata kan karambungoto imandu ko so training fanante jeme yalon ko be jikirin ko soma e sewle keno pour yi fanna fanwal so la fasar la men na folo ninko to be vim kajakan wala mu youth unemployment and security risk folo mu mu youth unemployment wala mu unemployment found
abaraka bake ilo nyinin karola kumata bakele mbading la moral mbal betentula ali alla watol mil bula kanasi kanjibe because banku ko wole Gambia ko na wuluta wato wati atala kumayata na kunkilin ko wati wala yatin nan talfanan be na hajol misuda na bula bari kana nan jang ka kacha Gambia la ko wala sokon tuma ke dafon de fami yalon ko funding ke ko wolem andun tel keta multimillion yalon ko mum funding ke la nyaton koti woto fengo feng ba funding ke la kuoto nyanda ka wille na ko diamo ni nata unemployment mimmun nsafo no doku soto balia wala doku balia wala tinna aning underemployment ifatata demanding so ninko unemployment angale la karola comme nafo nyamin doku soto balia wala doku balia unemployment has to do with people who have rightful skills, who have the rightful know-hows, rightful education. They should have a job, but they do not have it. And they are willing to work, they are willing to have the job, but they do not have it simply because either the jobs are scarce or there are some other reasons that prevent them from having such jobs. That is what unemployment is all about. But I would be happy to buttress on the unemployment as well. So in the Gambia, mostly we face these two things: unemployment and under unemployment. Like I've said, unemployment has to do with people who are ready to work, but they do not have the suitable job that match their capabilities. So underemployment has to do with these are jobs are already in existence, but they do not match with skills. Exactly. So we also face that in the Gambia. But as time goes on, we would have to dwell into all those things. Yeah. Thank you.
Good. Mr. Sane, I believe I fell out.
Yes, account like Abubakar has already delved into everything. What he said actually is the actual definition of underemployment and unemployment, and we have seen all these cases in the Gambia. We have seen people that graduated in the universities, in the colleges, and their field of study or their disciplines of studies in those institutions, and the job description that they are given in the field become two different things. So, and we also have seen people that study some other skills and then doing some other works, which does not tally with the instructions that they receive in their previous institutions of studies. So
are we going to consider that as unemployment or underemployment?
We're going to consider that as underemployment, not unemployment. Unemployment as well is rampant, as Abubakar said. There are people that graduated with their bachelor degree sitting home, drinking a tire. There is no suitable job or there is no job created for them. Yes, so that is unemployment. Yes.
Good. Oto ninga la kumo wala mo ko ninko unemployment wala mo yintin sa fo doku soto balia ka student ninko underemployment wala mo doku be tarra jele boti yemen karanga ni be men doku le tekele kilingoti ning atete mo medical doctor ti yole so de fay la kaydo ni fon soto je itali samba ko ita fitarol I call consider as underemployment. So moto kumata bakel. So are there any reasons or fengol meni alon ko wolle ka unemployment o sabu banko kan?
Well, there are numerous reasons that account to lack of employment in the country, more so in the Gambia, ranging from governmental responsibility to Mandinga as well. Fine, I would love that. Yeah, doku soto balia wala doku balia. I mean, aba msafo lontan kawanenti miyalon ko aba laring government na karola wala man sekundati aning funding kel fana na karola bari dalila jamala ya tinna doku wo mantara soto kan Gambia jang yalo ninko doku wo fanan aba kumala bakele pour na akoyndi bake ninko doku wo employment amanke doron. And in fact, in the Gambia, employment, more Jamal Bijeya translate to, in fact, some of these informal jobs that we have, more will be count as employment. These are jobs mostly where you would have low income earning. These are jobs mostly where you would not have any security. These are jobs where you would not even have a decent, in fact, some of the jobs are not even decent. And yet still, when we went through the GPO statistics on employment, what we saw was so devastating that in the Gambia there are about just 2025, more than 1,000 plus jobs have been created in the Gambia. Yes, GPOs, according to the GPO statistics. You understand? But exactly, but me tata ye report ni jibe kendeke. Ikatara go momi yalon ko ay bitakola fenko fongomuta. Palato aba Africa, they count it as employment. Huh? So you see, statistically, it doesn't make sense. So that is the problem in the Gambia as we speak. Ninata mansakunda la Karola. Well, mansakunda ya fole ko iba 1,500 jobs they will create it. Exactly. But it'll come in for them, they have created those jobs. But for us, we are not seeing the jobs. Where are they? So there is a problem in practical and in what we call theory. Just like I have said, some of these informal jobs, you don't have to call them as employment because it really does not tally with our people's capabilities and with our people's, abilities as well. So, Mansakunda responsibility balance to play in the employment sector, more so that has to do with the young people. TVET is something that Mansakunda Mantaraka gonna value in the Gambia. That is what I could tell. And this is not affecting only Molmila Lanko Bitakang Angale Karaona, but Hani Molmilfona Yanko Bitakang Arab Karan Fanan. Najibe, yalong mostly mulka cool center molle milyalong ko iba tubab karon doron Arabic school li kebula. Well, thank God, ministry saying alhamdulillah is trying to incorporate with madrasas as well, which is something that we really applaud. Yeah. So Mansakundala Karola, they have failed woefully in terms of employment. They are really not doing any better in that sector. Going to the young people as well, funding kill Fananga is a problem at times. But like we've said, if the government does not place opportunities for the young people, obviously they will become vulnerable in the communities. That is very right. If there are no opportunities for them, they will become vulnerable. And that's what we see in the Gambia. That's why most of the young people in the Gambia are vulnerable, very weak. And for that reason, you will see them resorting to these perilous journeys across the desert or the Mediterranean Sea. It's because of that. They are vulnerable. They don't have hope. They are hopeless. That's why they will take to the street. They will take to the route and get to back way. So I believe the government has a role to play in making sure that employment is adverse to so many things and to so many people as well. Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much. Abokara baraka bake. So that simply mean ko oto mansakunda unemployment ni mansakunda e part of the memple. But neither funding ke kunda fanang if any parts of the memple. But more to have no fanang ko funding ke all near most of them mantra do ko ke kan. Well, most of them be searing, or most of them be that come back way because among hopeless to the banko. Because banko jama be jimi ko ila funding ko li hope so the banko nyin kan ko be banko menga se baluno jenne nga fajang keno fend la faka clementi e kajol most of them be katawa back. But men fere yalon ko mo hope so the banko be kajel mostly ka findi da banko don do because kajel ko abla nga da fanse do ko kendo so do nga family na fano. So ntala pad na kajele ko funding ko lu mamre nga ko blame. Ndebe blame wala kan kaje ko mansakundal man fen create funding kele men be hamoran la wala men be hamen la kasila banko nyin kan because ni banko ge man tara jikiring kaje even na swol kono ning itata mata wala nte be du ko wala fam e ka respect me and from the family and the family members wo ka siya moti me alon ka man tara do ko wala hanna raba kata kan bota man tara ko do so kan ko ba so kan nyame annu funding ke kunda bi musolle ma fakele funding ke bi lafta nyina soma na family yenji as one of the best and na family nga respect go so kala na family la karola so ning waliaje ko okay oton tolde feng sot nola bunyale mbam fendole mu bang da sot nola na family la karoni atra manta ba because du kende yense men keno fay mam da ko setama leba so wala nan ko ntem nimble mo nyi nga jele ko on employment no mbe nga sikale fully nga di masa kondal nga funding kel bondi. What do you say to that?
Yeah. Well, you're very right on that. Just like I've said, funding ke lemeli alon ko imang jiko soto. Yalong hada madingo ni man jiko soto fengoto. Puriyo fengo muta akakwali abakele. Wala puriyo fengo kumayandi akakwali abakele. Wala fana yatin na Gambia funding ke jamal bije man jiko soto imbankola. Wala tina nidi ya mute fong ida ka carte wanyili so ko in 2026 inte challenges me from face Joshua Doron kono is above. Most of my interaction is with the young people because we know how we get responses from the young people. We deal with them directly in the so coming from you know what janning carte fayo wotan tatar la jang so amanja na ta carte wanyini tan na nyini kam fona badandi because atantar la jang ntakatale. These are the responses I get from the young people. That if I ask them why the same promises so I'm since and there are some people they are educated and they are telling me these kind of things that they will resort to this journey. So you have to blame the government in that aspect to make sure that people feel hopeful in their own country. How exactly? How do you convince the young people that this country belongs to them? That opportunities are here for them? How do you should convince them as a government? You should not say, well, there are jobs. Young people are just being reluctant to get jobs, but there are jobs. You don't say that. You as a government should be able to convince your young people. You go to Rwanda. It's one of the exemplary countries that one can tap activities from in this continent. Senegal, as an example, so many factories around, so many companies around, and young people are there working. But today, and the issue of the irregular migration, which is happening because of unemployment, when you looked at it, within a year, the number has been exacerbating. It has been worsening. Initially, at times, the immigration would tell you we've intercepted 500 people. The following month, you will hear the immigration telling you we've intercepted 1,500 people. So you see, the number is increasing. And as we go, the number is increasing. And many, many more young people are still willing to resort to this job as we speak. You cannot deter them from going. I can only convince them, you know what, I cannot be telling them always, let us manage. No, you don't have to be telling people manage always. Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, ye doku woke ye fongol nafa ye le badi ngol nafa comme ya fajang nyami. Mol be le corral kono million ko man doku shoto. Wala let's say doku shoto le but imang tama ibuke mu defenti. Ni mu mindset mi yalon ko mol ya soto. And tama ko fana mu mindset mi yalon ka ba had ba funding kill fana kono le. But at times we have to be realistic with the discussion. Tamo is not always the solution. And to me personally, nta mobile no la pour katam. But the manner in which yake is a concern as well. Someone who loves you so dearly would not allow you to resort to this journey. If anybody does that, the person wallahi does not love you. We have to be realistic with the discussion as well. So the young people who take to this journey, I don't advise them to do that. I don't advise them to go to back way. Because if we lost a life, we've lost a whole nation. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell us in the Quran. Killing one life is as if you've killed a whole generation. And if you go to this journey, it's as if you've killed your own self. Do not put your hand into something that you yourself know very well that you will be harmful at the end of the day. Well, there are hardships. Absolutely, there are hardships in our country, and we blame the government so dearly for that. But we look at alternatives. If we die, government has no business in it. In fact, how many people have died? The government hasn't released any statement. We've lost so many young people in DC. The president went on a campaign and he said parents should take care of their children. Billahi wal kitab. That's what he said. Parents should take care of their children. That was the only statement that could come from a sitting president. Without, in fact, being... Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But it's so unfortunate. I think we will get to more parts of the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Ato Mr. Sane, ngalon ko nga fenjamal dia mo medni karang wala kaji ko nimu karanta inte do ko sotlala. But do you think karango aning unemployment link sotola? Wala if sa musa jeno ko men karango fana mo another costly unemployment wala karona.
Yes, currently on unemployment, they they have a link because most of the people that are complaining of unemployment are people that are schooled. It is not unschooled people that are complaining of unemployment. So you come to realize that it does has a link. And most of the people that, as Abubakar said, taking this journey to back way is as a result of unemployment. And most of them has gone to school. And most, in fact, are teachers. I have seen so many teachers that left the field and go to Paco. Because the salary scale, like for the records, Gambia has lowest salary scale when come to the whole of ECOWAS. We have the lowest salary scale in the whole of ECOWAS. No, Jor Lafani Nina Rajibe, it's only impacting the life of those that have the positions like the directors, permanent secretaries, ministers, and the National Assembly members. Even yesterday, I was having this conversation with some fellows of mine at the ghetto. I was telling them that, look, if you looked at the Gambia, for instance, we are scammed by few institutions. And those institutions are institutions that we entrusted with the responsibility to speak on our behalf. And one of them is the National Assembly. The first betrayal of the Gambian people is done by the National Assembly, not only the president, but the National Assembly.
I don't understand that point because the National Assembly
yes.
So Nico, we got the first disappointment from them. That will be
okay. For instance, my argument is based on this. Like when this current National Assembly assumed office, what is the first benefit that they increased? That is the clothing allowance.
Yeah.
Then later we say what? There's 100,000 clothing allowance. When your country, when people are quitting their jobs because the salary scale is too low to meet their expectations at the end of the day, you are increasing your clothing allowance. Then you don't only stop there. They also allocated a special budget for themselves to board $1 million car to drive in this country when people are starving, people that you claim to be representing. Youths are sitting in the ghettos with their rightful skills, but there is no proper employment for them, and there is no job opportunities for them, and you still claim to represent them. Then they increase their salaries, increase their responsibility allowance, their robbing allowance, their fuel coupons, and everything is increased. That's why I said the National Assembly are the first people that betrayed, or the first institution to betray the Gambian people. And most of these National Assembly members will sit on TV or will sit on cameras saying all sort of things against the president. But yet still, they are also contributing to the problem that Gambian people are facing.
So will you term that as scamming?
They are scamming us. Broad daylight. And Aboka also said something like, the youths has lost hope. Yes, because the social theory contract, the government is failing us time and time again. And once the social theory contract is failed by the government, in which citizens explicitly or involuntarily has rendered their rights to the government, in turn for the government to protect them, if the government is not protecting these rights, what the citizens could do is to lose hope. And when they lose hope, they become vulnerable. And this is why we are registering high rate of crimes in this country. Because every Gambian that you turn to is angry. Because what we're supposed to get from the government is not coming. We expect the government to create sustainable jobs, not only jobs, but sustainable jobs for us. And there is no sustainable jobs in this country. And we expect the government in turn also to secure us, to give us security to our lives and properties. And in turn, we are not saying that. There is no Gambian that can tell you that I'm safe. Even ministers, they cannot allow their kids to roam in the street up to 12 o'clock as we speak in this country. So that means the government is not securing our lives and properties in this country. So that is mean the government has failed time and time again to secure the social contract that the citizens and the government has signed. So that the citizens become vulnerable, and we are now resorting to risk our life and risk everything that we have for the backpage one. So education has a direct link to unemployment, because you and I are complaining because we are all trained at the university level. And when we graduate, the only thing we can do is to sit at the ghetto and drink ataya, because there is no sustainable job that we can do. If you look at the university graduate, according to the Gambia's pay scale, if you graduate from the university, you have grade 8.5. Grade 8.5 can only pay you $9,000 with some allowances attached to it. You have less than $15,000 that you take to home. So how much is your tuition fee per semester at the University of the Gambia. Calculate that for 4 years, 18,000 plus for 4 years. How many people do you left at home that depend on the salary that you are collecting? So that is to tell you that education has a direct link to unemployment. And many people are graduating from TVET colleges. You know, whenever the president speaks, he boasts that I have introduced TVET centers. Yes, we do not deny that. There are TVET centers. But how many people graduated in these TVET centers and are given jobs, sustainable jobs from the government? We have people that graduated with diplomas, advanced diplomas, some even bachelors and masters in engineering. But who do we see? Diploma holders from China constructing our roads, from Sierra Leone constructing our roads. Where are diploma holders in the sector that the president is boasting about? People that are holding masters there. So this is to tell you that our problem of unemployment is directly linked to education. And as long as the government has no alternative to solve this problem, we will continue crying for unemployment in this country.
Good. Thank you so much. And to viewers, my apologies. Because most of my guests are venturing. No, I can say my guests are venturing much in English language than Mandinka. But okay, I will get back to Mr. Sane to give us a summary about what he has explained here, just within 30 seconds or in 30 seconds.
So in essence, what I have said here is like the first, if we want to have so in Maninga, okay, comme nous faut que nous tuab kamala comme nina Gambia la doku balia wala doku solo balia fanan jibe question ni momenti ko fo karan fanan mukul li mialon a contributele so nina la jibe mol mialon ko wolle complain jama ka fo ko doku man solo Gambia e mol ti mialon ko e 40 and mol ye ko do jo e 40 so e 40 le man sakunda man doku fananta ka dila doku mialon ko abe nafala ay ko mo fananta a nafa karungo ni ajibe momin graduate at University of the Gambia ina de kajo less than $15,000 ko do mi alon aman wultani lulta a si wultani lulu bi Gambia ni na dum dabiti ko kono ni fundita ifam be la fa ko mbol so ni momi alon ko ay sanginanta a West University e ko jo ko do la mi alon ko ma wultani lulta a si Gambia banko kanja yamete do ko di la mi alon ko do ko nyimba nafala a ko mo nafa mbolle fokan anu ngakuma do fanam fo mim fanam be dending National Assembly la menketa banko fanam na bantabati mol mi yalan ko ngolle kije pour ye si kadiamun tol to yalan tol mi yalan ko be sirin suwol kono kadu mbetano la bantabaro kata diamu je bari si mol kino je le mi yalan ko be diam lan to yala kalu wal fanan ta ke den to yala nyilo molti mi yalan ko wolle folo e gambenol taye jamfa kadu kabe yel tol taye karto faye idunda yin bon kono e tol mi nke wolam ila clothing allowance menkere ila sidifano loti yolle la ko do fananta ya lafa inara modo sangi famolje inara allowance ko don lafa yela salary lafa gambe dum mi yalan ko wolle kije wala salary to nyama amal lafa fingol dabe lafa ka luwolum so nimbe problem o solfla ma sakunda an National Assembly wolle nyanda ka sobe ya ka gambe no la interest je e doku kendo di gambe no la dogo mi yalan ko wolle be gambe dum nafala.
Good. You mentioned about National Assembly. And most of our National Assembly members will tell you this. The half has been paid by the government, and we are paying the half from our own salaries. And the clothing allowance also, they say since they are representing the Gambians, they are representing their constituencies, they owe us something. So we are giving that 100,000 to them as clothing allowance just as a token of appreciation. But that cannot even fit their clothing allowance. Most of them will tell you, we are doing this work, but we are not getting any pay. Those per diems, the salary you are complaining about, the car, they say that is a governmental policy, that there shouldn't be any governmental institution that should buy a vehicle below 2 million. That's what they are saying. So for Iba Folaleko, ise policy ni mo fele me alon ko policy le menja wiyata sa falin no wala do policy ni box ka fa ne ko okay ninga moto sa me alon ko is less than 2 million means banko la ko do minato la duna kunto always ka de da na tinya ngade da so bi jambo jani mbo kala ngat moto sa me alon ko guaranteed but do ka fa ne ko say 200,000 300,000 moto san me alon ko wala hajul jar no la len And be careful for nanko mostly yeah ye moto sort of 3.5 lu after 2.5 because it will be do ko la jamala hajo kanano le bite ko nyine be jan yero sita auto iseros ka bojan kata kiyan ka bojan kata foni nyomi jaran so kaji ko ni moto kendo so me ko nyin wati te wol keno la fo won feden me alon ko musa jino ko ay sense make leba wala no police le me alon ka jarta pour ka fale
no nim policy like I always tell people, an unjust law is no law at all. And a bad policy is always a bad policy. This policy is very bad, and economically, it has a detriment to the Gambian people, especially poor taxpayers. You all know people that are paying tax in this country, half of them, 65% of Gambians are poor. We all know that. If the scale, if not even rise to 70 or 75% of the Gambian people are poor. If you are representing poor people, you should know that I'm representing poor communities. Why would you take a car that costs $3 to $4 million? Why? Like common sense. Somebody with consent will reject this car. I can vividly remember when Halifa Saleh and Sidia Jara was in that house, when Barrow bought those pickup trucks and give it to National Assembly members. These two guys stood on their grounds and rejected them. Nobody took them to mile two. Nobody insulted them. People praised them. Why didn't the current National Assembly members do the same thing?
But we had Shebu Toure saying, let them return his money if we did not want him to take the car. Let the government return the money that they were deducting from his money. Because they are also saying that that money was deducted from their salary since around 2022 or so.
The government shouldn't do that. The National Assembly has override power to check the government's functions. Why didn't they use the powers that they have as lawmakers to check that particular policy? How can a single executive take an action on a National Assembly which have will of the people
as the most
powerful institution? Why? This shows that most of them in the house there has no interest in returning this vehicle, and Swebu alone cannot override the decision on the house. Swebu only can voice out what he feels is not right, but he cannot force them to do it. He can only voice it out. That's why I said overall, the National Assembly failed the Gambian people consistently, and they continue to fail us.
Good, Mr. Sane. Akon National Assembly Gambia mol fail ani be kunne kanne ka mol fail. To Mr. Cisse. Finja male kasha kabonan koma. Maybe dending unemployment wala ani fo karang iling sotala ko Mr. Sane wala damen jabe kan. But for mota fonol fananko nimman sakunda ila policy jube kendeke. Iseyin unemployment is ta bannole wala hani ma bay satalanole. But we can still mitigate it. So for the policy jube insajo ko ni ul jube mutre kaya jube banko dingo la ko sula ko ya fanyameng both the three arms. You have the executive, you have the judiciary, you have the executive. Ni be mutre ya jube aja ko okay banko dingo la ko len tol sula feli ndeke no fenti ma me alon ko handing on implement ma banno but isa talanore walanto na parliament ya je ko okay a jefende me alon ko ajarata la ma police leader me alon ko mu kayti karne be bul gambe jang wallante ko ibe kaddo ko la gambia hanna re man tak do ko karan kayit la but yenta jol so la me alon ka be silal bos nga diam corruption mostly anu corruption ko yabam banko wang ayatra banko mo la joma si aka kolyal do ka fone I will not mention any ika fone mo do ka tra lodin silo kan e ka tra do ko sifado la je ni koy bol sama office kono ika fone malef kada office kono because I can recall ye sheko do ko mo fanye yakata mi mo la silo kan nata mi dal always bu ka brandi baka na bal moto kono so lunda fana duata kay ko he alma jendi nana ko nyang yebuni je sam office kono ka hani usas kana duwanye yentu jambe ndamento so feta je no ko wol kamen so silo kan wol ka siya fe na office kono men so la wayati na le frinka lo silo kan wala to nimman sakunda wala na parliament e police la men yalon ko banku dingol be jokendo so del do ku dinkral to fe mam da ko on implement no sa talano le anu ka diam nyimba ko we syndrome men fana sa talano
baraka bake o nyinin karo ku mayata bake le ninnata man sakunda la lontan kan wanyanta kamilta pour ka ke fon sasi salon doku soto balia asatala no nyamin wala fundingkel finance fonje no nyamin man sakundato ni nata ka jibe wala tinna National Youth Parliament molketa institution de mi yalon ko wati en ka tola diamula man sakunda e pour at least molia fondinkel la siran soto parliament fondinkel la siran soto banko la kacha bundar e kacha kacha bun kono kadi ngeet bantaba ngeet yeah because ita feon keno la fondinkel ye wata fondinkel fo man taraje ita fo no la ko ñinom fondinkel la problème oti wata fondinkel fo man si fon yela problème ol fon wala ñanda ka bangi banko kan ni nga tala mol man we don't have a youth we don't have a seat for the young people. Absolutely nothing will be done for the young people in the parliament. There must be a seat for the young people, a reserved seat for that matter for the young people. I think I phrased this when we had the social contract signing at the Gambia participates, that there must be a seat for the young people. And this seat has to be apolitical. There should be election for this seat, the young people, and it has to be apolitical. There's no political party that would have to nominate a particular young person to come and represent the young people. No. If that happens, the position will become very political. You don't represent the young people. So at first, that I still now advocate for that policy. It has to be there. So that the young people, their voices will be heard and their decisions will also be respected in the country. That is one point. Funding la karole min for min ka foko mandua ponata office. Well, there are so many things linked to that. Lafta ka demanding for jani betambila. Ya long Gambia keta banku ti dami ya long ko janning ibita la public office. Janning iba mansakunda position mutala. Ibading wal ba fole ko yen ni so si di dami akabalu wala to. This has become a normal thing to the Gambians. That Yeni society daming, where a cow is tied, that is where it fits. And it has become a normal syndrome, deeply rooted into the minds of the young people, into the minds of the Gambians. So Walayatina corruption has been normalized, even from the mouth of the president. That corruption is as old as human being. And everyone is also corruption, quoting from him directly, verbatim. So wale ati no pa we are reject katunga ya mi ajeleko ndamanda mansa min sotono abasi yala na salary ti lemba min sotala nintara office and nintara office na salary ta bonila non kan is either na sunyaroke wala nimmo sunyaroke mol bi jele mi an ko ta lafla na tarawdla and molio scenario jamal la jeyim banko kanjang mol bi jele mi yalan ko I mean il after banko la bakel to an extent that iman la fika things sunya nyim banko billahi perfect example honorable minister of basic and secondary education kunung na bota nyokan Dr. Habibatu Drame mete diamola la office and advice back apkonya Abubakar like this ntala bakala the poorest minister after office because nda banko la think tanol billahi wal kitab from the honorable minister Habibatu Drame. Thank you very much. Dino Nimbijela because nakadi ambake. The woman is somebody who has integrity in her, to be honest. I kujamale for, but these are some of the things that naming sotabulu that I'll become the poorest minister of the office because the banko le fengtanol. And we this what we want. So wala tin probably wo gaay woni amanna accept pour ka public office because ñil le bije corruption on normal tale mo be bor la jele so policies do bije nte ñing unemployment ka sol man sekunda dorong ta keno andung man sekunda mu fenneti mi yalon ko ya business o jele man sekunda man business o no and employment ka solve for asabo mansakunda bulo kono aita private people kono jamaba they have to privatize some institutions. Yes, it's one of the policies that I believe ni aketa back about banko makwela back yen nawegje for instance nawegjibe is very insufficient quality service very inefficient, very inactive, very ineffective. To be honest, right now as we speak, because aba government na bulu government abolo control momo mindiate ko leke million jel la Mr. Nawek million jel. And how much does Nawek make per day? And we heard from the audit report eko Nawek coming present Italy and in Italy coming sort of it's like bank sound in banko billahi wal kitab from the audit report. And nothing will come out of it. Because thank you.
Reports are just mere opinions.
Thank you very much. So this is the problem of the Gambia at this moment as we speak. So if, for instance, Nawek were privatized, probably those private people would not tolerate nonsense in the country. That would breed what we call efficiency, that will breed effectiveness, and that will breed quality service in our country.
You go to, don't you also say that will make things costly on the citizens?
Well, yes. In fact, and I think Nawek is water should have been cheaper than the amount it is today. Before you would pay $50 yes, bill, but now you are paying 200 plus. 400. That's what you pay now. So in government has become so exorbitant in the prices. In fact, government should be more accommodative than being exorbitant. So if Nawek were privatized and some other institutions in the country, even like Gamtel before, it has become the most useless institution that the country has ever produced in the country. And there are so many other institutions, even the Groundnut Corporation. If these institutions were at least privatized, they would employ so many people. Because as a private entity, you will not want your service to go down. You will not want the quality to go down. You need more people to work. And that would expand our country's economy. Because government institutions are institutions that belong to everybody. Somebody would say, you know what, it is ours, let us steal, because very soon we will leave, some people are also coming, because you would know that there is nothing at the end of the day, there is nothing that would happen to me. Yeah, Jammeh was here, so many people were working under these institutions. Today they are still working in the institutions while they've stolen millions of dollars. Where's the accountability? And so surprising, so astonishing, coming from the president to say corruption is normal. To be honest, that really irritated me when I heard it. To be honest, I plead to the president to please come publicly and reject that statement that he uttered.
What do you expect from somebody?
Thank you.
Not only that. Because I'm me back. I hope I'm audible. I'm a me back. Ako come karango aninka ke muti manke kilingoti just quote unquote ako mudo jana na la PhD binoda male woni niso fata ndenga oh that was as an insult to me ngaji ko ndo be mbata ha mbela nimba tambira kan farba tayo nimba boso kono yes okay I will give nimba boso kono ngamira ku fulo men na faja ninka faja sukila nga boy ba malon yepp lebal boso kono dal tali ni lati ko ni moy tañul fo yuti jamam boy very rare because musugo no ya jama be man hasaya wo nyam so ni wol bo bata be la man sa ban ko la man sa me yalon ko ande karango encourage o kana just telling ndiro a big just the political ambition and so ka fa mo le ko modo be do lo jël ni la PhD wol bino da malol ni so fata ndenga je ndirol
you know Barolo statement no like if I'm to interpret that statement like amantra modo ne ka mi yalon ko is a political opponent a mol ni ga miyalon ko is a political ally mo miyalon ko ala PhD after struggling to get the PhD I news wala faro bino da malo wala Dr. Ismaila Cissé. I'm sorry to say this, he's a state minister, but Dr. Ismaila Cissé stood here on the records, still people play it in his face, rejecting Barrow, denouncing Barrow, calling Barrow all sort of names, clueless. And Dr. Ismaila Cissé today is the best singer of Adama Barrow. Ni Adama Barrow jalo soro nyimbango kanjang, aman jalo soro minta Dr. Ismaila Cissé. Then the more be me alongo after having PhD and means all faro bino da mal Dr. Ismail Sisedi and Mamadou Sabali me alongo le banoma kerentura. These are people that have empty education.
Yeah, I've been calling them Kerenka for answer.
So you know more, but people with integrity, with their PhD, absolutely, and they have worked in renowned institutions, and they have left a great legacy there for many Gambians to walk through and then have employment in those institutions. You cannot call those people names. So you can only call people who rejected you, denounce you, and call you names, and today they are singing you. You can only call those people cows and names. So amandra mo neniga abala mol fongol neniga mialonko wolle ba noma. So this insult goes back to Dr. Ismail Sise, Mamadou Sabali. This goes back to them.
That's not our topic, but I'm a question on Murumla water. But me am da ni yo fala nyine da fole ko masakunda le mialongo ko imantara takuka. So say yin kuma le ko ngana pour ni be yari danyo nga taku or ni bam tajel ko refe be banko jawe yakan. But sa folo ne ko ke ni aji ay kumandi nata because ndol man abesta nyame na ambeti hanu tanya ine falinta wala nda ay kumandi pour be tanya ine danyo wala nata nakala pour ngata.
Me ofo I will say it's a bloody lie. I have seen somebody with PhD. You know Dr. Usman Gajigo? Yes, Dr. Usman Gajigo has offered himself to the government of the Gambia, into any ministry, into any department, to work free of charge, giving his expertise in advising them in policies, in advising them in any deal that they are signing with private institutions that are outside the Gambia. The government rejected it. He insisted on he will work only with a paycheck. That means if he's working with a paycheck, they can easily corrupt him and then put him in their cabals. And he also rejected that. So you have Gambians who are genuine, who want to work for this country free of charge, but the government is rejecting them. So if Dr. Ismail Sise said, the government calls me and I rejected it with a paycheck, he's lying. It's not true. It cannot be true. Since another Mansakunda, what has changed? Corruption is normalized. And whenever corruption happens, Jumalakara media, ka defense, Dr. Ismail Sise. What has Mamadou Sabali resort to? Insulting people. Since he joined the government, what has he advised Barrow to do good? And then Barrow advised Kuala Miyalonka Beteada. Barrow is doing things that are against our constitution on the Mamadou Sabali's watch as advisor.
Be careful, the Sabali is an economist.
I know he's an economist, but what has he advised Barrow to transform our economy? There is no economic policy implemented by this government which is going through for the Gambian people. All the economic policies that they has implemented in this country, they are all detrimental to the Gambian people. Entirely, all of them are detrimental.
Okay. Good. To Mr. Sise, Janing be sauna part dollar. You talk about Nawek. Remember the ning fengola daja wera ni fenkotengol. Last week or last 2 weeks? Press release Doljube. It was just as a question and answer session with the director of Nawek Fujuma. Mudu line kind question la kaiko. Nimuli cash power san before, just like ni credit kosan. Because niya some bonus kalafala. Sunday ni $200 credits and QSL, I think they are giving you 150 bonus for officer. So akai but sign near sang instead ni 100 sang say they will give you around 70. Say ik amount men fanga say because soto. But ako woman keto nyati maybe ka sang ning wife da ko don iblis wala ba hani ka sang wek fangol to the same thing kataraji. What will you say to that?
Yes, no report na la statement on la moyle ka being said yafo. I mean that woman ke to nyati ka foko niya sang na bulu coming sang ani kaminge aka doyale. But that is the reality. I mean, Hanita na week be ya cash power senge ya sang wave they are all the same. Eka substitution means na week well the same substitution na ikola sort of wave fana. So wokomani is baseless. Kafoko woman ke to nyate because ntalla multimillion ko ntalla ba kono na la ne fana ba kono le but just that if comme ça docteur Cissé afo nyami ndoro mbeba problème kono. afo son tele kombe problem. But because you are in the system, you don't want to mention the problems. Huh? So this is the problem. If the system work on a malefic problem offer, while you yourself you are suffering. So well BJ Dal. Yeah.
Good. Abakar, to you again. Diam kan tapi fulalla. Wole mu unemployment and security risk in the Gambia. So for typical me along kaje ko atembetale bang for unemployment no and security risk ye link soro ba me along ko link safno link beti mal comme ni mo do ko soro bala ka fitno sabu nole akana le mol sono kalano people are comfortable on their zones that they should be comfortable in.
Ngamira nyindia mo mundia multi mi yalon ko is very contemporary. Is amun fenete mi yalon ko sandong ala dia mo watoti. Andi na bula tambita ala ban kitin lalle sama and wa kitin dirota soni ala dal. Security wala unemployment ay risk jamala landi bankola tanka bundato lunduku soto balia akete sababotile bankola tanka bunda amanta nyama wala yente katara nyama mantara nyama mbe ya jele mimba keri nyi banko kan nsafo nyin karo min tambita nyin jun karo min tambita animba njula karo min kono mbe ya mimba ke kan banko kan security risk bankola tanka bunda abakoli ya kuol min kono komi na fo nyamin doku soto balia bijele woko ken o nyaadi le fondinkel mi yalon ko abasirin somanda fo suto fentije mi yalon ko amarisa dunno je fentije mi yalon ka sa fam bizindi no wala abasirin wato wati afan ye kabin somanda fo suto abuka fenke mi yalon ko ba bizindi la anda ba nafala ko mari ku jawo doron sablano wala. Thank you. And wala tinna ni faro mi beke kan na banko kono c'est en felenti ndunta dia mo kon molle beke kan milyalon ko imang dula muta soto dula muta dula muta latela wo molle be nyinke kan most of them dulati je dami muta wala molti je miyan ko be na faka andi kaka milla molla moyti milyalon ko wolba mol na faka andi ba banko fana na faka so kaytende comme ça unemployment walon dogu sodo balia banko la tanka bunda aya batandi bakela for instance nata nyi moda min tambita buba jalo for instance mi yalon ko wala be keri atata kam mofa mi yalon ko aketa eka electrician mi yalon ko amenka bala family dorong nafaka baraba banko bele nafaka and these are people we need in our country. We need people in the TVET sector, and he was one. Ibunjai was one, and you've ended that person's life. It means you've killed a whole generation. So I problem bala nati nam bankola security to nina jibe sa senteng mo be manghani mo be basilari ani be fona la kan ndoro e katara silari mo sa dun non kan ayam fa ka tum fenta bolaji adina dide diam ken sa na bekela yunu sam bay felenti mi yafa diamol wulita ko am ay sonno ma courant soto.
That's always the classic.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yesterday I have seen a video of somebody. He was given a side of fuck.
Yeah, so that was Buba Jallo. So Buba Jallo was the one doing that. And well, but comme ça min bije dorong ça fo anya molle ge milia lon ko faro ke bi batamakan. Wala yatinna afana yo science falke bari wo be diam wo mun diam dol fananti pour kan na justice system o blame aning man sakunda la lontan kan wolon ka bo president fon bulu minka yamfu molma milalon ko ke samba kasok ka to moye mofa ite mansa ntama je ko itala nyanta ko mari ya kada ite tala nyanta ka yamfo mari bari wo mari la mol wala nyanta ka yamfo ning ayatara moye problem o soto anim banko la tema etolom banko la nyaton ko fine it's okay no but wo fon ko dol bijele million ko ni moyo ke banko wo mari fon nyanda ka fale mi bije ko banko la ko banko la naflo sunya ni atara mari e trizin leke coup d'état wasi falte mi bi nya iso mari fin bare kam mi banko le fon sunya just mimba ke kan chena just not lengo go mole publication doje chena somebody sentenced to death for money laundering for bribes. So almost 2 billion, I think. Yes, yeah, wala. So wala BJ right now. This Buba Jalo and Yunus Ambai's case, Molba Diamukang. But very soon it will be brushed to the carpet. Nothing will come out of it. Gale, thank you very much. You go there as well. Huh? So comes up, murder has become so normal in the country to an extent that people will do it and work freely. In fact, the court, with a very arrogant manner, fucking the whole country, spewing garbage from your mouth. So, I mean, waka yitan la comme ça banko ay doko bala soto kake molla tanka bundala dal. Yeah.
Abaka ngalong ko murdering and so have become the game of the day in the Gambia now. For security le failed bang, for Masakunda le failed bang. But that part I blame our parliamentarians because along any policy from along ko Masakunda right or right sort parliamentary rights will pre you challenge no. So abol kono Masakunda ka men pardon always. Ye rights will pre you ya challenge. Yes, ga kuntu kaya okay. Ning category say will pardon no say ublanole. But this other category man rights to call bula. But ni yabla Masakunda wonyama momo I said lefaka mo bula ya bula. This thing will continue. Mo kele mo fal bi so may na benga betama ko masala bula.
Yeah, Tonya Lemuti. Yalong Mansala position is very political. To an extent that ate fengo feng bata nafala wala fengo feng bata la mansaya samanola. Ani atara ka silon ka mofa ka kesadati. Mo sifal bijele mi an koy bokela. Ma fo baro bitanga be mofa la kesadati. Bari mansal dol mo leti miliyalon ko wosa jarenoye.
That is in fact it's part of the theories, Machiavellian theories.
Thank you. So, Ninata prerogative of mercy, the pardoning power from the president, well, is constitutional. But the manner in which it happens in the country is not constitutional, but it is political. Because you pardon people, the public is not aware of the people you pardon. Yeah, that is rubbish. Now, what about if those people are criminals and the public is not aware of pardoning those people and they go and do the same menace and havoc in the country?
And I heard that
because
there is this guy that he pardoned, and on his way going back to Jarasoma, he was trying to steal.
Yeah,
he was trying to steal.
Yes.
And he was caught stealing, and then sent to Mile 2. Then he was pardoned. On his way back to Jarasoma, he was trying to steal a phone, mobile phone in the car.
He was caught stealing. So it's unfortunate. So isn't because yes, if you pardon such a person, people in the community should be aware so that they'll be vigilant and meticulous about that person. That this person is forgiven. We all have to be meticulous now. He's in the community, he's in the society, he's in the country, so and so and so.
Do you even think
the serial
should be even given pardon?
No. Depending on the nature of the crime the person might have committed. The serial rapist and the murderer, the Jaju guy. Even looking at the face, you would know such people do not even have mercy. If these people, if you look at their face, you would know that this one is a certified criminal. Their faces do not even give hope, nor do they even lay a smile on people when they see them. And those are the kind of people you will permit because of political reasons. And if the public demands the list of those pardonees, you don't also give it to them. In fact, that compromises what we call legitimacy. That is not legitimacy. If people are being imprisoned and they should be forgiven, yes, we know that it is a power from the parliament. Yes, you're right. Parliament has a whole lot of power to do and a whole lot of responsibility to do. To me alone, the issue of pardoning power should be out of it. Left to me, yes, it should be out of it. And in fact, should it happen, conditions should be laid. Yes, you are right. There are conditions on the pardoning power. The parliament should approve it. But I doubt whether the parliament even approves. Does the parliament even peruse the list of the pardonees? Does the parliament even know the nature of the crimes committed by these people before being pardoned? The parliament does not have any power to those things. And in fact, surprisingly, the prison officers will not even know the crime that these people have committed until they are pardoned. Billahi wal kitabi, some of the prison officers. Yes. Obviously, evidences have been presented that in prison, the officers, they don't know the people who are pardoned. They would doubt whether such a person has been pardoned by the president or not. And they will not even know the crime that the person has committed. It's a tragedy for the country. And such people will come back to the society, do similar garbage.
Oh, more than that.
Thank you very much. If examples were set from inception, the issue of Lamara Jallo's case, we've seen from the court that it will start from afresh. And exactly an incident that occurred in 2022. I think yes, 2022.
Yes, 6 years later.
Yes, Lamarana Jallo. So, and there are so many murder cases happening in the country, and justice is not serving properly. Because these are, somebody killed a person, the person goes to mile 2, walks freely in mile 2, drinks the water sponsored by the state, eats food sponsored by the state, and the person he or she killed is in the grave. The families are mourning, and the person is drinking water from the state money, is eating food from the state money. At the end of the day, you forgive that individual. Is that justice?
Back to the society.
Thank you very much. It is not, absolutely. So the parliament has a role to play in making sure that there are stringent rules and policies to make sure that nobody does things summarily. Everything has to be based on majority, but the majority of our parliament is tantamount to an entity. Thank you very much. Democracy, at times I insult democracy. There is nothing like decision making in the parliament. Let me tell you one thing for free. It is a year there has not been any adjourning debate in the parliament. Billahi wal kitabi, no debate for a whole year. For a whole year, no debate in the parliament. Just not long ago, before they had the recession, you know, now they are in recession until September 1st. From August 1st to September 1st, parliament will be on recession break, vacation. Before they went for recession, a member of the parliament brought a bill for debate. Guess what happened? 21 voted against, said there should not be any debate. Only 12 people voted for, if I could remember properly.
That's what they are.
And thank you very much. Here you have not debated on anything. A member of the parliament had to tell me that, do you know why we did not debate? I told him why. He said, because there are so many present issues. The ruling government norms would not want us to be blasting them because there are so many issues happening in the country. And is that logical? Are they there to serve the party, or are they there to serve the interests of the people?
Yeah, they have to serve the party.
Thank you very much. So the parliament has a role to play.
That shouldn't surprise the Gambia. Barrow stood on a political platform before the Gambian people. He said, like, my party is young. I would love to step down, but my party is very young. So if his norms are protecting and safeguarding the interests of NPP in the parliament, it is not a surprise to any Gambian when the president himself is saying it before the Gambian people. And that alone serves as a legitimate reason why Gambian people should vote out Barrow. But most of the majority of people are supporting him.
But I think we have to blame our parliament, not only the NPP MPs, but even the UDPs and other party members. Because the thing here is, most of our parliamentarians are not there to serve the interests of their people, but rather to serve the interests of their party. Because we can all see, and we have seen, after the resume power in 2021 or 2022, there are laws that have been amended, that have been changed. But there are few things that are very vital, important. They never talk about those things. Number one here is selection of the speaker. That should be vote. It should not be like a president select a speaker or choose a speaker. The deputy speaker, the same thing. The IEC, the leader and the deputy and so, all these things have to be voted on. Not only the Prebaro will only wake up one day and say, I appoint Aliu Saho for this position, or I appointed Honorable Abokase for this position. What do you think? If I have to appoint you today, will you go against me? Never. So these are the problems. But that's why I said our parliamentarians, truly speaking, I blame our parliamentarians of betraying the Gambian people. You shouldn't be in parliament to serve the interests of your party. But you have, yes, fully agree with you. You should be in the parliament to serve the interests of the Gambia. Not only like you say, okay, I'm from Kia West, I have to serve the interests of Kia West, but you have to serve the interests of the entire Gambia. If it is my position where Kia West have to be failed, let Kia West fail, but let the entire country live as they supposed to. But even this current system we are talking about, most of our areas around Joswang or Ibo Town, there are parts that you will never experience the current, this on and off of our current system and so on. Some are having it for 24 hours, whilst others are suffering and they are paying something that they are not enjoying from. So on that deka follow most nyanda ka menkel mundiko nyanda ka nyanda kwa sakunda blame kuobela. Ndola mo masakunda ndo mata duko ken direct. Lim parliamentary role ntole selen ko alda parliament ali dia mun to yala ye, because we have indirect democracy and we have direct democracy. In Gambia here mesro mindiko we must have representatives so yalon ko belole dia mun to yala. But even this female circumcision me yalon ko mo ka dia malajan. Who among these parliamentarian members jatala molia ko al na ngasi tarito sadani yakata. Do ga fo ne ko kabdi ile mo to so ni kata mbisa ka wero sen la assalamu alaikum ka dini mol tema. While kabdi ko place ni kata wolle ni si benal kan de nin ka ni police de da asa sai ka police de da kasi la bune kono even mo la call so ni kesika ni invite to program pre ni kata ni si fala, they will not listen, they will not accept your request and so. So wala tinna nga jele ko the blame here ma fatole bontel blame mostly in card basically entirely ngadi National Assembly. Hey, National Assembly should be the most should be the most powerful institution within the governmental organs. But Muniatina, they have surrendered their power to the government. Kabira Pasike Adi Masakunda Mindera Bolkelela. I don't trust in any of these political parties. Not UDP, not NPP, not GDC, a political party in Milari Men. As back Alakalam Dalung, Kabring Baron in 2016. Within 4 years, follow falling, all age limit. Or age limit falling the program more less satisfy. Following 65 years, you plus as vice president or as a president, you follow falling because we will a sula world. In other parliament, ning ila party member, ni ila party ni ila party yo kwari by ila sila mutule bull. Instead ye body by election or primo do kay ila sila mutule bull. What we find me alam ko you falling because wait will fail. Brother, man fengo do fal media lon ko won ko dingol febo membe ko men nida protest la ibe li pala police will be arrest ko be kelela bos ila haji man tarawto man sula wala.
I can vividly remember part of the campaign agenda for the coalition in 2016 was the Public Order Act was their number one target. The Public Order Act used by Yahya Jammeh, used by Jawara government, used by the colonial government, Nina power, they're going to remove it. But when they come into power, they remove it, they leave it there, and then they remove all laws that were barring them from enjoying in the state. So it is disheartening. Like to say that Gambian people are blind to elect leaders that are not representing their interests. You know, when we want to sit on TV and mince words, we have to speak truth to power. We have to say the reality. No matter who love you, no matter who applaud you, say the truth. The truth is, not the opposition parties, not the ruling party. They are both consistently continue failing the Gambian people, and they never have served the interests of the Gambian people. Hey, we all live with these politicians in the same communities. We know what is going behind the scene. They will be in the parliament bantering each other, but outside the parliament, they will say, hey, yeah. So we all know what is happening.
Yes, we have to be called honorable.
You all know what is happening. So you made mention of something like the pardoning powers of the president. I think there are certain powers that the Constitution has given the president. These things are colonial initiatives. They should be removed from the Constitution. If we want to live in a very progressive democracy.
Do they have any interest of removing those ones?
That's why I said they continue and consistently failing Gambian people. And as long as we continue with this culture of our political system, we are going to be failed consistently, because Gambians vote blindly and Gambians follow blindly. We do not follow based on ideas and policies, but we follow based on rhetorics. So this is going to affect the effectiveness of our democracy. And part of the problems that democracy can give you is your president standing before a TV announcing that I pardon a rapist from prison, while somebody that you raped and spoiled the person's life is there crying and still with the trauma and stigma in the community, and you see the person that has put you in that condition walking free in the streets. And there are certain people that the president pardoned. They are non-Gambians who commit capital offense in the Gambia here, and he pardoned them, and he said it's family issues. We have seen that here in, I think, 2024, something like 2024, 2025. The president has did it here. And he cannot back his decision. He said it's family issues. That's why he pardoned them. And he's a guy who is a Senegalese who raped a young girl who is a minor. That is a capital offense. The president pardoned him. So these powers should be checked thoroughly by both the judiciary and the legislature in order to curb crimes in this country. And second, if you want to curb crimes in this country as well, we have to look at the effectiveness and the up-to-dateness of our immigration system. The immigration system is one of the useless immigration in the entire world. Our Gambia immigration, in the entire world, we have the most useless immigration. Immigration that doesn't have a database. Today, if your ID is lost, you have to struggle back to get another ID, but not that ID that has lost. We don't have serial numbers that are working through the database.
Serial number?
There is nothing like database. If there is database, if you have a serial number, you can go and enter it in the computer, and then everything will come. But there is no database. They are still working with the manual system since independence, 65 years of independence. We are not serious as a country. If we are serious and we want to do something about crimes, we are not being xenophobic or Afrophobic, or we are not against foreigners. But what we are against is foreigners importing crimes in our country. These are things that we are against. Like, for instance, if you ask me, which West African country is the country that you will put more control on their nationals coming into your country as director of immigration, I will say Sierra Leone. If you ask me why? I would say Nigerians has been coming here since independence, Ghanaians has been coming here, Senegalese has been coming here, Beninese has been coming here, but they never bring drugs that kill our young people like Sierra Leoneans did. They have manufactured a drug in Sierra Leone that has turned communities into zombies in Sierra Leone, and they not only stop there, they bring it into Gambia, and they have turned most of our young people into zombies. All that is because we have a very weak immigration system, People can come into your country anytime they want and leave the country anytime they want without being checked. Let's take an example. The biggest drug lord in this country that I have known is Pablo Jabi. Where is he from? Pablo Jabi is a Guinea-Bissau national, and he has been shipping containers of cocaine, heroin, and hard drugs into this country. In collaboration with who? The Gambian Navy, the immigration department. Because if he's not collaborating with them, how did he manage to import a containers into this country of drug? So we have to be serious about certain key institutions in this country in order for us to have a peaceful, democratic, and a secure country. We have been losing our tourists to Senegal due to consistent reports of what? Consistent reports of crimes in our coastal areas. And who are causing these crimes? They are all caused by foreign nationals in collaboration with our nationals due to the weak immigration that we have. So we have to move from the traditional way of immigration to a modern system of immigration. That's why I don't blame Europe when our brothers say Europeans are they are racist. No, they are not racist. They are trying to secure their countries. When you go to Germany, for instance, before they deport you, the German authorities will tell that they give you notice. You have to leave Germany because you are undocumented in Germany. You don't know what you can do in Germany when you are not documented. So they will notice you to leave Germany. If you refuse to leave Germany, when the authorities catch you, they want to deport you back to your country. This is not racism. These are realities that we have to accept as a country. Although there are certain things that are happening there, which we know is racism, yes, that is racism, we condemn that. But there are certain things, is because their immigration system is very effective, ours is ineffective. That's why we are complaining. So our immigration system, for us to have a peaceful and a crime-free country, we must work on the immigration system. And the justice system has a role to play in ensuring that we have a very crime-free country. Like Abubakar mentioned the case of Lamarana Jallo, after 6 years he has been murdered. Now the Supreme Court has now approved the appeal from the defense attorney that the case will be afresh. Now the family has to sit another 10 years or so because nobody knows to be served justice. These are things that are contributing consistently in the crime rate in this country because people are no longer afraid. Because the justice system is weak to a point that you can do crimes and then be in mile two in remand while your people are giving you comfortable food that some other people are not eating outside. Why would people get scared? They will not be scared. So moving forward, these are things that we need to change. If we want to have a very peaceful and a democratic community, we must graduate from these things.
Thank you so much. Final question to Honorable Cisse. Maybe the corruption ola. For corruption, I say, honey parts of can play unemployment or carola. Ninko corruption for Fendima Melanco, I say unemployment, Cianino Banco can, I say, Mulban no do Kusumilanco, Jessica Duco in Srola.
Baraka Bake, Obakele Nadia Mulabanti. Corruption msafo wale mkafe wata ami ya lonko amanke tati wala amanke doron kafe wata afana. Corruption is beyond that atambito walale kapalaso di mo la milialon ko imang nyana ka soto abeba corruption o konole amanna doron ka banko la ko do sunya ni mu fenete mi yalon ko mol ma faham yalon ni nata corruption o la fannala akati nyaar jamale ke corruption o ka mol akati nale borol bu ko sudo no mol la loptanol to corruption o ka tinale mol la karan la bunda bu ka betiano corruption o ka tinale han mol la banko la tanka bunda fon bu ka betiano funding kella doku soto balia corruption e role bala pileje kodo mi yalanko anyanda ka dundi pour ka compagnie lo ni wo kodo nyin min nyanda ka spende ni atara $300 million la nyanda ka spende moli ta ya $200 million spende $100 million ta ya bule la boso kon. That's absolute corruption and we meta ke kanyim banko kanjang borol mi yalan ko nyanda ka tara molla health center to molla hospital to wal borol la ba molla pharmacie ngol to bi yeta molla leptanol to yesa sa soto even canifing is the perfect example. You would have to go outside to get medicine. So you are creating, let me say, the government is, instead of creating that employment, as a government, you are giving that to a private person to be exploiting people outside. A medicine costing $200 in the hospital is costing $350 in substep here. So why that? And they are all the same medicines. And these are people me along about hospital also. Eko boro la squander ya somebody outside. So that is corruption. And it's not only about that, but Molia appointment Jamal Milia Lonko Jang, they are based on so many sentiments. All that is corruption. The office of the vice presidency, the appointment that should have been given to Usman Sise was directed to somebody else because of affiliation. We've seen that happen in the country, and that's absolute corruption. You've denied somebody having a job. The person is unemployed. So all that is corruption. And in fact, according to the constitution, your relative, I think at times, probably this is not clear to so many people, but as somebody who is so passionate about law, and at times we get to legal issues. You see, if you are in a position, even if your relative is qualified for a job, but if you are in a position, you have no power to appoint that individual. That's unconstitutional, because there is what we call conflict of interest. But that is so rampant in the Gambia. The Speaker of the National Assembly, when he became the Speaker, he appointed most of his family members. Thank you very much. So, thank you. Yeah, we've seen that. Thank you. Thank you. So that is the level of corruption in the country. That is the level of corruption in the country. So
I can't see some of these things as a joke.
It's absolute joke. It's absolute joke. So that's corruption plays a greater role in unemployment. To be honest, it does that. There are so many capitals that should have been given to the young people. You come to the Gambia, for instance, an amount of money calculated 200, let's say $500,000 to be given to a young person for investment or for a job. You end up giving that person $50,000, and that person will go to Backway with that money. You give me $50,000 and you expect me to do something beneficial for myself and for my family. Obviously, you are telling me to go to Backway. And, sometimes they cannot be intelligent in their dealings. They say, well, we give young people money here and they go to Backway. We are empowering them, and that's not smartness. How can you give somebody $50,000 and you ask them to work for themselves? Obviously, they will resort to this journey and go to Backway. You've given them the path. But create something for them that is everlasting. That is what we need. So corruption plays greater role in this aspect. It has become a canker in the fabric of the Gambian society. And to cure it, it has to start from the highest level, from the president. But unfortunately, he himself has declared it normal.
And he's corrupt as well.
So, well, it's crazy. It is.
You can give you a couple of remarks.
Okay, yeah. So, mbanna dia mo dandila jang nalo ne kuma jamala fanam fota and hada madungu nene man timma but na bankola kumola nyinti ntal mum funding kelleti and fengo feng ya funding kel sola fon savili na ko diamu na diamo denta kula la milialon ko e mun doku soto baliati anin na bankola tanka bunda fanan na jela be nyamin abala fa wata bake mon milialon ko ye fa batare akono bala dan la fa alma ale ilajang sonia and milialon ko fana ye nyim batare akoke hanbi hanisama mbamman sakunda dani la wato wate pour luwa kendo e lañil kan isalo milialon ko fanan ye fa ila mul fanan news se wono nyami comme na lo nyami niya mofa e mari nyanta ka faale wala mi fonti mi yalon ko tel wala long an wala mi fonti mi yalon ka banu no constitution kon so ko wo luwa mi banna wo luwa mi balaring ya luwa ñu suspende and wo mu kuleti mi ya lon ko amanyang alwa nyande ka tamale ni ya mofa e nyande ke faale isalon wo mol la mol ifana ni so se wono nyami yeah ala baraka bake
Baraka Abubakar, that will question the sovereignty of the Gambia. Ning the international body cartel we will question our sovereignty. To Mr. Sane, in 2 minutes or 1 minute 30 seconds. Mansakunda ko yodoku will create le banku dingole abu wol kono men fo jelu min diko imagine ka banku dingol bondi yanki ki Spain kala do ko laje ke bondi jay kala la ko tan Saudi kala do ko laje yes mbe may ko di priya close and very concluding mark di but jang maybe I am wrong bonde to my understanding and experience nde hajele ko yani Mansakunda be emo yusule ni manku katangol na banku dingol ko je kala do ko laje malu bi solution men kono jibe ko men dilate si la defen nafale why not Mansakunda e bankol invite na Gambia ye company yeleja ni company le policy landi ka fo ko okay na policy lu men do men diko bala textala lu men jola example right but na banku dimbe do ko ke kan alla company kono ni atara great certificate le babul ni bakala minimum wage ni ata bachelor sababu ni bakala minimum wage ni masasle babu ni PhD le babul ni Mansakunda e wollandi ngam do be fe banku dingol na farale killing fulan jango e be fewon men dira kan wolda be sonela Gambia kono fulelde saban jango ka fo fanan ko okay ning data la hierarchical arrangement la karola oto ning arta la force ten le be mo tende be tare fa la fo ngogin kono alon ko 5 or 4 of them be kala Gambia no let Mansakunda policy ci falandi aninga banku dingol boni jita woni banku do ko me alon ko te de ku discenter sort la janu na ci falu iti haji ki yimfulo jumala fi siata in pareda in 30 seconds la conclude di magde
yeah abraka bake that is so unfortunate ka Mansakunda je ka foko ibena Gambia dingol boni la janke sama Saudi Arabia wala ke sama Spain kara do ko ta ka dilaji like common sense from ta ka make mathematically Nina Rajibe, Spain circular migration on you. How many Gambians were able to secure a flight ticket from the Gambia to Spain? I think less than 60. Or if I'm correct, less than 60. Or 60 exactly. So was 60 in Yunkono. Module Leo mission complete. You know why I bought her? You cannot take me to Spain, a place that I have been dreaming to go to for ages. Take me to Spain to go and work for 6 months and come back. In that 6 months, what I'm working in Spain, I'm going to pay tax and my food is coming from there. What do you expect me to bring back home? No. When I'm already seeing my peers in Spain working and building mansions back home, if I have any chance of running, I will run. So mathematically, it doesn't make any sense. And ming fana nata kan diming fana wolom they are taking our skilled people mon yalon ko e meto karan ne jang e meto no e ko sambay ke this Spanish wala ko tay ke sam ko like any wise government will invite the Kingdom of Spain to come and build a factory in the Gambia and employ Gambians to work here. That every wise government will do, not to export your skilled people who supposed to be helping you in the manufacturing industry to go and work in the agricultural fields in Spain with a very low pay scale, which is not going to benefit them. Sister Hamilton by Saudi Arabia, most of them are complaining after going to Saudi because it's a scam package. Like what they tell you and what you find, what you found on the ground is two different things, completely nonsense. Most of the sisters in Saudi Arabia are doing very, very dirty jobs there. That's why they are all crying. Some of them are crying to be brought back to the Gambia because the work description there is very poor. So I think the government of the Gambia should negotiate with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to bring the jobs that they are giving our Gambians in Saudi Arabia to the Gambia here, like you said. But to my surprise is, like most of these foreign direct investments that are happening in the Gambia, the manner in which they are happening is very bad. Most of the employees that are working in those institutions that have foreign direct investment in the Gambia, and most of their employees are paid in foreign currency, not Gambian currency. For example of that is the Turkish company that was supplying the Gambia with electricity. Most of their engineers were Turkish. And the money that they were paid is not the Gambian dollars, but they were paid in US dollars. And that alone is an economic detriment to our currency. Why would you pay a foreign company foreign money in your own country? The Chinese.
Not long ago,
yes,
there was an inauguration here at Buffalo.
Yes.
The inauguration about university. There was a point that, right, a very nice and a decent point for Barrow. Barrow gave him euro instead of dollars.
Yes.
So that will simply show us that then he is proud to be giving out foreign currency in our country. Where are you going? Will you see these Europeans using our dollars? No. So why will our own president that have to serve and also save our currency giving out foreign currency in our country? That's simply so that he see that currency as more important than anything than our own.
So, yeah. So in essence, to cut the discussion short, like the government of the Gambia should renegotiate the deals that they are signing with other countries in terms of exporting our labor to other countries, instead to bring those jobs in the country here to boost our economy. Because when you export your labor, you are boosting the economy in the countries that you send your labor to, not your own economy. That's what they fail to understand. Those that are working in Spain are paying tax in Spain, and those that are working in Saudi Arabia are paying tax in Saudi. So those taxes are boosting the economy of those countries, not your own country. So they should bring those jobs here and employ our youths here, then boost the economy of the Gambia. So in my concluding remarks, I will urge all Gambians to be vigilant. In these hard times, it is only people that are vigilant will witness the future. If you are not vigilant, your life might be cut short, because nobody is safe. Our streets are not safe. Our young people are all consumed by dogs, and they are all like wild dogs in the streets. Anybody that they come across, they attack you with weapons, and no justice is served. So everybody should be vigilant, and everybody should be a police of your own to report suspected activities to the right authorities for the police to take actions. And we are also approaching the election year. We are already in the election year, few months away from the election. I'm not saying don't vote for Barrow. No, that is not my argument here. But I'm calling on all young people, do not sit in your ghettos in December 5. December 5th, let us all go to the polling stations and show that the sovereignty of this country lies in our hands. We decide who goes to Marina Parade, and we decide who does not go to Marina Parade. And if we believe that those in Marina Parade currently are representing our interests, let us go out and vote for them again. But if we believe that those that are in Marina Parade fail to deliver a decent stadium for 4 years in this country, our national team and maiden women national team is playing in foreign land, and that is our concern as young people. Let us go to those polling stations and show them that sovereignty lies in our hands, and we decide who go back to Marina Parades. And if you believe that the children that some of them could be imams, pastors, teachers, and some of them can be engineers to construct our roads, die in the negligence of our medical council. And if you believe that this is our concern, let us go in December 5th and cast our ballot and decide who goes to Marina Parade. And if you believe that all these crimes that we are crying for is our concern, on the 5th December, let us all go and cast our ballot and decide who go back to Marina Parade. Thank you all, Gambia.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sani and Honorable Cisse ala baraka bake nimben fani alon ko lebe konko TV jube kan ala programme olem The Gambia Matters kanal jenne on Wednesdays ka fengol discourse men alon ko fengol gamenol sulade ke moy la ni fengol men alon ko sulade pour ke jara o kam malan kanaja always nga o programme ol soto jang me na cameraman o tentola men keta Mr. Usahoti aning men be jube rola sign teng wala men mina jube la nyato ngal bitin to ngal jay al nal hoslemu Omar Suare. Thank you.